Hey guys, this is Mahesh and we're back with our second in videos on losing your hair and going bald. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the styles and shapes of haircut that would be best for you. Now, I'm of course going to tell you to go to your barber. Go to your barber and be honest. Say, I'm losing my hair. He'll be able to see that, or she'll be able to see that, looking down on you. But be honest with yourself and be honest with the barber and say, take advice. Listen, guys, this is their job. They do it every day. And, from our perspective as a barber, we don't see thinning hair as an issue. We don't see it as life's big problem. There's a lot more things you could be worried about. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to have some sort of goal ahead. So it depends on where you are, and if you're feeling that you're just maybe losing a bit of hair from your hairline, or maybe it's a little bit thin on top, you can start to play around with different looks and different shapes. So number one would be, probably the first thing I would say is to start to go shorter on the sides. Now, we can look at a picture of a haircut of a guy with quite short hair on the sides and maybe a little bit longer on top. And, what you'll notice is that the emphasis is on the fact that there's a little bit of hair on the top, and it probably just balances it out a little bit better. So it will make you feel, and it will look like you have a little bit more hair on top than you actually do have, because you're taking away the hair from the sides. So when you start to grow this, because this will always, on the back and side, will always grow. And you'll never go completely bald right that far down. And people who are in the industry who take hair from the back and move it to the front, this is the area that they always go to, because that's the area that we will always grow hair. So what we need to do is we need to maintain that. We don't want to go too wide here and then have thinning on the top. So what we want to do is take this in and keep some length through the top, and then you can cover up a little bit of your hairline if you need to. Maybe start wearing your hair going forward a little bit and maybe push it to one side. So that would be a suggestion if you were just thinning and you were just starting to lose a little bit of your hairline and you were thinking, I'm conscious of this now. So stage 2 would be in the thinning process where you're noticeably thinning now, and you really feel like there is, when you run your hands across the top of your head, you really feel the difference between the density through the sides and the top. It feels light, it feels like there's less hair there. You will probably find that it, in texture, feels different from the sides as well. So at this point, I'm going to say to you, keep the sides short again, and maybe go for a crop, quite a short looking haircut. Maybe go for something that is looking, I don't want to say military, but you can go short and sharp. Sharpen the edges of your haircut if your hair is slightly darker. Sharpen the edges, and if you've got facial hair, maybe sharpen that in and cut your cheek line in so it blends in with the haircut, and that will be an extension of your haircut. So we'll pop up a picture just to give you some idea of that, of quite a short look, short on the sides, short on the top, generally coming forward, maybe with a little bit of texture added into it. But what you need to remember is if you add texture to the haircut, what it tends to do is you tend to be able to see through the haircut. So you're looking to ask your barber for maybe a sharp haircut on top, so they're not cutting into it, and they're definitely not thinning it out for you and using the texturizing scissors, because Mother Nature's already doing that for you. So step 3 would be not too far away from me now, how I am. And I would say that step 3 would be where you have either what we call the island, where you have the hair on the front here, the gap in the middle, and then the hair all around the edges. Or you've got a balding patch that you can really start to notice and feel. And your hairline's moved quite far back. So stage 3, I would really recommend that you start to really experiment with a lot shorter haircuts. You know, there's lots of buzz cuts out there that look really great, actually, and you know, you can really blend them from being quite short and making the most of what you've got. There's some powders that you can get, the dark powders, if you've got dark hair, that you can powder on top and rub in, and you know, it makes it look a little bit thicker, so you can do that if that's how you really feel about the way that you look. But what I'm going to suggest is that, you know, maybe going for a buzz cut with style. So Josh Young did a video not so long ago, you can pop that up, a link in there, and a buzz cut, and you can still have shape, you can still have style, and you can still look like you mean business, and you're taking care of yourself, because you are taking care of yourself. Finally, stage 4, you're at my stage. You know, you've lost it pretty much. I mean, my hair grows well on the sides, as I said, on the back, it's going to, but you know, there isn't much going on top now, and really, my wife tells me there isn't much going on up here anyway, most of the time. But that's another subject. Okay, so what I'm going to suggest is that you go for a really good haircut. You know, take it off, experiment. Cutthroats, foils. I mean, we use the foils in the barbershop for a couple of reasons: health and hygiene, speed, that it's nicer on the head, it's cleaner to use, there isn't so much mess, you know. So people like to use the cutthroats, and they think that you know, that's the ultimate way to actually buzz the hair. But actually, we prefer the foils here, because actually the foils are much safer, cleaner, and nicer to use. So I would say, you know, embrace it. You know, there's plenty of guys out there. Look at Van Diesel, look at Bruce Willis. These guys look actually better with no hair than they did with hair, in my opinion. And I think, you know, you just really need to embrace it. Now, if you think, oh, I've got a really big round ball head, and I've got no hair, it just makes my head look like a bowling ball, then we need to talk about the facial hair. And for me, I would say, if you've got a big round head and you've taken all your hair off because you're losing it, and it actually makes you feel better like that, then, you know, start to experiment with facial hair. You know, a moustache, a goatee, maybe some stubble, heavy stubble that's been contoured in. That will really help, especially if you can use something that's going to really sharpen up the lines and give you some sort of jawline and give you some cheek line in there, and it'll make the cheeks pop if you have like a really sharp contour line going through there. So there are your tips. That's your little journey, and hopefully there's some ideas, styles to help you on your journey to what I would call a solar power, what I call my solar panel for a sex machine. See you later. Take care.
Thanks for watching this video. Beardbrand has launched a private community called The Alliance. It's for men who are looking to invest in themselves and who are looking to keep on growing. Click the link over there and come join us, or stick around and watch some more awesome videos.